Welcome po. Welcome to Lira and Law. And thank you very much for joining me for our usual Thursday get-together between 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. on a Thursday. I'm your host, Lira Simon Kabatbat, broadcasting live from London, England. I'm a practicing solicitor of nearly 33 years post-qualification experience. So hindi pa kasama yung pag-aaral, pag-training. So post-qualification experience of nearly 33 years. I'm the principal of Douglas Simon Solicitors. We are a firm, we're a solicitors firm in London, and we've been established the firm has been established for 27 years, actually over 27 years. So we've been in law for a long time. As usual po, we will be discussing legal issues that concern you, with as much practical help as I can provide. Beware po, all cases are different. So if you're unsure, always best to seek legal advice, always. And thank you as usual po to our viewers for the questions that you posted. And as usual po, topic natin is coming from you. Okay? And we have had so many really great topics nga. So let me just we've chosen from the many questions that we have nga our star questions. So you have some serious bragging rights, Thank you very much for the viewer who posted this. So let me just read yung question niya, and then I'll summarize nga our topic for tonight. So tingnan yung question, So this is from our viewer, and this is our star question, as I say. Good day po, sabi niya, Good day to you, Sa experience niyo po, alin po bang mas mabuti, Mag-apply ng unmarried visa o magpapakasal muna kami dito sa Pilipinas, tapos tsaka kumuha ng married visa. Nasa UK na po yung girlfriend ko, dito na po kami, hindi pa po kami kasal, sabi niya, Pag po kasi unmarried visa, bawal po ako mag-work. Kung sakaling ma-approve yung visa, need po kaming magpakasal within 6 months, sabi niya, Tsaka mai-extend po yung visa ko, sabi niya. Okay? After ma-approve ang extend ng visa, tsaka po lang ako pwede magtrabaho, mag-work, sabi niya. Pagka naman po married visa, pauuwing ko muna ang girlfriend ko, then magpapakasal kami dito sa Pilipinas, then tsaka ko mag-a-apply ng married o spouse visa. Tapos, pwede na po ako mag-work doon dito sa UK, of course, ibig niya sabihin, alin po kaya mas mabuting gawin para sa situation namin dito, Maraming salamat po. It's a great question, actually, because it involves so many things, okay? So in summary, ang topic po natin ngayon, courtesy of our viewer nga, is married versus unmarried, roots, in immigration nga. But as usual, it will always have, as I always try and do, practical leanings nga, Hindi lang po yung topic natin, also, Our topic is not the only issue sa question nga, but also we have other great topics. So, for example, we're going to be dealing with some matrimonial cases, some family cases nga. So, cohabitees, Ang mangyayari nga if you own a property, hindi nga kayo kasal, what can you do in order to force a sale if you need to force a sale, if you've broken up, for example. Pag-uusapan din nga natin dependent visas nga, minimum income requirement, yung bago, that was introduced at the beginning of the year. So many more. So it's promising to be, a very interesting night. Now, I hope that you can keep me company throughout, but I appreciate also, of course, your time and truly your company. And kung gusto niyo akong batiin mamaya, o ngayon, please post say hello. Huwag kayo mahiya. Just say hello. Even if it's just to say hello. So we're going to take, before we launch into our topic, we'll take a very short break nga lang po. Saglit lang po. I will be right back. welcome back po. Oh, you caught me off guard then. Welcome back. Thank you for joining me again. Tonight at Lira in Law. And so hopefully you're having a good Thursday evening. No, it's malamig na nga lang, no? But anyway, so without further ado, because we have so many questions, I should not really go on too much nga, because I do like saying hello. And please do say hello back nga. But I will stop saying hello and actually launch into our big topic. So, binasa ko nga kanina yung topic nga natin. Thank you very much for the viewer nga who posted that. So, ang topic po natin nga ngayon is married versus unmarried routes applications into the United Kingdom. Unang-una po, thank you very much for the question and congrats, no? You have bragging rights today, Thursday evening nga. Because it's your question is this week's star question. This means nga we'll be looking at your question in quite a lot more detail, no, and hopefully will help you navigate complex issues of in this case nga relationship application. So unang-una, let me start, no. If you're unclear about the what we're discussing now today, again, get legal advice. But in the meantime, let us unpack the question. So unang-una po, you're making an application for entry clearance visa. Kung marinig yung phrase entry clearance visa, ibig po sabihin, making an application from abroad, Philippines for example nga, coming into the United Kingdom, entry clearance visa ang usually tawag. So if you have solicitors, sabi nila, you're making an application for entry clearance visa or entry visa or leave to enter the United Kingdom. It's all the same. It means you're making an application from abroad coming into the United Kingdom. So you then say meron kang girlfriend and she's in the United Kingdom and you want to join her in the UK and pursue a family life here. Great, no? So ang question po nga is unmarried or married visa application. Bago natin tingnan yun, okay? We need to really deal with the initial issue, the preliminary issue. So before answering now your question, tingnan muna natin what actually are the options. Because sabi mo nga doon, married or unmarried, it's a bit more actually complex than that. So there are really 4 options if you're making an application to enter the United Kingdom from abroad. Philippines, for example, anywhere really, no? If you're looking to come into the UK to join your partner in the UK. So let's go through the options, but of course we're going to look particularly at in detail at the issue of the viewer's question, which is unmarried or married route nga, no? So unang-una po, you can apply to enter the United Kingdom you can apply for a marriage visit visa. Now, the hint there is in the phrase, no? Marriage visit visa. Ibig po sabihin, application nyo essentially is a visitor visa. It's a tourist visa. So alam niyo naman, bawal kayo magtrabaho dito, hindi kayo pwede mag-aral nga dito, but you are coming into the United Kingdom simply to marry, and that's allowed. No? It's one of the categories under the visitor visa route. Now, some people, they want to enter the UK nga to simply marry, and then lalabas nga sila, babalik sila sa atin o saan man, and then they're making an application, say, to come back into the United Kingdom nga as a spouse. No? So it just allows you to marry. Now, it suits some people nga, especially kung nandito pamilya nung partner nyo, gusto nyo, they want to attend the wedding, and it's better for you to come into the UK, maybe even with family, and dito nga kayo kakasal, tapos babalik ka. Now, so that's one option, and we'll deal with that a little bit more nga. Second option po, fiancé application. So ibig sabihin, fiancé application, papasok nga kayo dito to marry in the United Kingdom, pero hindi nyo kailangang bumalik sa atin, for example, to then swap that fiancé application to that of a spouse. So it's a visa to enter the United Kingdom to marry also. So it's slightly similar to the visit visa application. But with the differences are actually also quite a few. So pag-usapan din nga natin yun. Pangatlo po, unmarried, no, partner application. That was not always there, but it's been established certainly for a few years now, unmarried partner application. Now, hindi nga lang yung basta-basta. Meron kang mga kliyente, akala nila, kung meron kayong relationship nga sa Pilipinas, you can simply enter the UK as an unmarried partner. Hindi po yun. Okay, so there's quite a bit more to it than that. So again, we're going to look at that a little bit more. Or, of course, the fourth possibility is marriage, married or spouse application. It's so obviously it means that kinasal kayo sa atin, for example, or anywhere really, but ibig sabihin kasal kayo bago kayo papasok nga dito. So let's have a look at those four options. So una nga, marriage visit visa. It allows you to marry in the United Kingdom. Pero ang putatin pong malaman nyo, hindi kayo pwedeng magpasok nga ng application as a spouse dito. So, kumuha kayong visa application, ibig sabihin, sinasabi nyo sa home office, kakasal nga lang kayo dito, babalik kayo sa atin. Doon kayo magpapasok ng application as a spouse. The conditions are very similar to a visitor visa. So, kailangan ipakita pagka nandito kayo na meron kayong titiran, nasa patang pera niya, pera mo, and that really you're only entering the United Kingdom to marry and you're going to go back. If they think that you're entering the United Kingdom, and to marry, hindi na kayo lalabas, hindi ka na lalabas making an application here, your application will be refused. So be careful. So for our viewer, this is probably not really what you want, okay? But it's a possibility. Second possibility is a fiancé application. Now, that means marrying in the United Kingdom. Main difference between that nga and a marriage visa application is hindi nyo na kailangan bumalik sa atin. Papasok kayo sa fiancé, and then in the United Kingdom, you can then pursue an application to change and extend your visa as a spouse. Of course, pagkakasal na nga kayo. The conditions are very similar nga to a spouse or indeed an unmarried partner in terms of income, English language, mga ganon. So titignan nga natin yung mga conditions together with the conditions na required for unmarried and indeed spouse visa applications. When beware po and actually going back to the viewer's question, yung sinasabi nga niya pagka nandito na siya 6 months nga lang tapos hindi siya pwedeng magtrabaho. Although ang reference po doon unmarried visa, actually that is more appropriately described as the fiancé visa. Okay? So yun ibig sabihin. So ibig pong sabihin, nandito kayo, fiancé visa, hindi kayo pwedeng magtrabaho. Kahit kasal na kayo, kahit nagpasok na kayong application nga as a spouse visa, hindi pa rin kayo pwedeng magtrabaho. Mabibigyan nga lang kayong permiso pagka napalitan na yung visa, nakuha nyo ng spouse visa, but not before that. If you work before that, you are in breach of your immigration conditions. So beware, bawal po magtrabaho. Hindi nga lang basta-basta. Now, unmarried partner application, and this is the thing that sometimes nga can be confusing, the difference nga between that and the married route is in fact the marriage. Definition of a partner actually changed fairly recently. But it's not as wide as you think. Dati po, in order to succeed as an unmarried partner under the unmarried partner route, you need to be able to show that you're living together in a relationship like a marriage. A minimum of 2 years bago kayo makakakuha ng visa as an unmarried partner. But that's actually changed. Hindi nyo na kailangan magsama. And I think that's to cause some confusion with some applicants nga. But although the cohabitation requirement's been removed, you still need to show that you and your partner have been in a relationship like a marriage. Sometimes they say akin to marriage, like a marriage, a minimum of 2 years. Kailangan yung ebidensya, hindi po lang basta-basta. So boyfriend, girlfriend nga lang kayo, hindi po yung pwede. Because you're not really, as boyfriend, girlfriend, your relationship is not like a marriage. So evidence can be, for example, things like kung meron kayong mga anak, hindi nga lang kayo kasal. I mean, that's best evidence. Children are best evidence of the relationship, of course. Kung nakatira kayo sa yung bahay nyo, it's jointly owned. So you do need to show or support. So remittances, for example. So you need to show that you are in a relationship like a marriage. For minimum of 2 years, those two things. And of course, kung nagsasama nga kayo dati, and you can show that, then even better. Because cohabitation, of course, is a good indication na you have been in a relationship like a marriage, a minimum of 2 years. The fourth option na pinag-usapan nga natin is the marriage spouse application nga. If you're making an application under that, you do not need to show the 2 years living together because you're already married. So, for the viewer nga, so kung uuwi yung girlfriend mo, magpapakasal kayo doon, sabihin natin, she's there for the honeymoon, and she's there maybe for a little bit longer, like a longer holiday, that's fine, no? You don't need to be living together, minimum of 2 years. Kasal na nga kayo, you made the legal commitment. Now, so for the viewer, ang question nga niya, ano mas maganda, no? Do you make an application under the fiancé application nga? So ibig sabihin do you make an under that, and ibig sabihin dito ka, papasok ka dito sa fiancé, magpapakasal nga kayo dito mo papalitan ng visa mo to that of a spouse. O mas maganda ba kung uuwi yung girlfriend mo sa atin, sa Pilipinas, and then you kasal na nga kayo, make an application for a marriage visa nga. Now, I will definitely deal with that specific issue. But before that, tingnan muna natin, what are the conditions mo na kailangan yung pakita? So, the conditions for unmarried partner, married, no, spouse nga, and indeed the fiancé application are much the same. Slight variations, important variations, of course, but the conditions are, for example, yung sponsor nyo, should be British or Irish or have settled status in the United Kingdom. Okay, for example, indefinite leave to remain. Income niya, sweldo niya, no less than £29,000. Regardless of any children coming. Okay, actually that's one of the questions nga kanina. £29,000 po before tax. Importante po yun. And beware, if you're self-employed or you're in you own a company, the evidence that you need to show are slightly different. From say if you are employed. I think last week pinag-usapan nga natin, one of the questions was category A, category B, and there are I think 6 or 7 types of categories for income, for evidencing your income nga. Now, on top of that, of course, accommodation. When pagka sinasabi nila financial requirements, it's 2 limbs, no? So there's the income, which now is £29,000 nga, rather than £18,600 from before. But also, don't forget the second limb, which is, of course, accommodation. Kailangan meron siyang titirhan pagka nandito na kayo, no? Nandito ka na. So it doesn't have to be a property that you own. It could be property that your partner is renting nga, o kaya it could be na it's owned by sa biyanan mo, no, or would be biyanan. Okay, as long as you're allowed to live there, and it must be at least a room that's suitable for you and that's only occupied by you too. Okay, so you're on, and of course the English language requirement, no, for fiance, for unmarried partner route, and indeed the marriage route, kailangan yung English requirement, which is the level must be a minimum of A1 po ang tawag. Okay. And hindi nga lang yung basta-basta, also make sure that you take it from an accredited, an accredited organization nga. If you want to for me to send you the link of the accredited organizations, let me know. I'm happy to do so. And of course, kung galing nga kayo sa Pilipinas, kailangan nyo din negative TB, tuberculosis certificate, basically to show wala kayong TB, so now again, not all hospitals, not all clinics can provide the certification na kailangan nila. Again, they have to be accredited. And again, kung kailangan nyo yung lista nga, no, then let me know. There are various clinics in Manila. I think there are a couple nga in Manila. I think there's one in Davao and Cebu, and I can't remember. There are a few, not enough, from my point of view, but I think there are either 4 or even 4 or 6 now. There were less than before, but at least now there are about 6. So hopefully you book the one that's nearest nga to you. Now, question mo. Our viewer that asked nga and was and it's our star question. Question mo nga is, what would be better? No? Now, tingnan natin. No? Let's unpack your question. So you call your beloved girlfriend. Okay? So you may not actually have been living together the minimum of 2 years. Yeah? Although sabi mo nga, you're submitting an unmarried application. Ingat ka because don't get the two mixed up because the two are different types of applications. You mentioned also 6 months nga, so you're probably looking at the fiance route, hindi yung unmarried partner route. But I mean, let's look at what your question is. No, ano ba mas maganda? So fiance application o kaya the married, doon nga kayo kakasal, no? So let's have a look. Nga sabi ko, the conditions are much the same. And tama ka, pagka pumunta ka dito as a fiancé, ang bisang bibigay nga sa'yo 6 months nga lang, hindi ka pwedeng magtrabaho. Okay? Kailangan mong palitan yung fiancé application mo pagkakasal na kayo, of course, no? And subject to continuing to satisfy the other conditions nga. Pagka nakakuha ka ng spouse visa, tama ka nga, nung ka lang pwedeng magtrabaho. Okay? Now, what would be better? So these are the things nga that I discuss with my clients when they ask me this question, okay? Travel costs, pamasahe. Okay? Dahil ang layo ng Pilipinas, at mahal ng pamasahe. Especially nga ngayon, no, Christmas time. I was, one of my clients, sabi nga siya sa akin, they paid 1,500, no? Fare. But okay, it was Christmas. You know? And it's returned nga to the Philippines. But I was shocked. I thought, wow, that's no. But so travel cost. Now you're coming to the UK anyway, right? Either as a fiance or a spouse. So it's not that you have to pay one fare para sa'yo, okay? Pero yung girlfriend mo, kung kailangan niyang magbiyahe sa Pilipinas, magpakasal para ikasal nga kayo, of course that would mean one extra plane ticket. Okay? So there's, if you like, one additional airline ticket nga if you're making an application under the married route, the spousal route rather than the fiance. Because of course, pagka nandito ka na, you make an application for fiance, hindi ka na babalik sa atin, and you make an application as soon as you're married nga for a spouse visa. So there's the airfare. So that is a plus, if you like, for the fiance application. But yung nga, you can't work until you get a spouse visa. Okay? Importante po yun. Bawal nga, no? Where spouse visa applicants, or if you've been granted nga that, they can work as soon as they arrive in the UK. Now, against that though, home office fee. Okay? You have one extra process if you are coming into the UK una as a fiance. No? So you're effectively paying for two processes, for two applications. Kailangan fiance, tapos pangalawa, marriage. No? The fiance application, and indeed the spouse application po sa home office or out-country applications nga, presently stands at £1,846. No? It's quite a bit. No? But if you apply for a spouse visa, you pay this again, no? Plus the IHS fee. IHS is Immigration Health Surcharge. Immigration Health Surcharge is the fee that you pay as your contribution to the National Health Service, the NHS. Nga. So that can be quite a bit that if you're making an application for spouse. So kung papasok ka dito as a fiance, dito nga kayo ikakasal, ibig sabihin magbabayad ka ng fee as a fiance. There's no IHS, by the way, for fiance nga, because the visa is only going to be 6 months. No? That's the reason for it. Pero kailangan mong magpasok uli ng application pagka nandito ka na, no? Pagkakasal na nga kayo. So ibig pong sabihin, spouse visa application, £1,846 plus the IHS fee, because then papalitan mo na yung visa mo to that of a spouse. And the IHS fee is £2,887 50 pence. So that's quite a bit actually, or 2,500 actually. I think it's 2,587 pounds. I'll check that. But anyway, it's over £2,500. Okay, for the IHS nga lang. So it's quite a bit. So against the fiance application nga is the home office fee, because you effectively pay a home office fee twice, which is, as I say, is 1,846 pounds. Now, um, now, however, you can say, well, okay, no, 1,846 pounds, maybe, yun ang pamasahe. So maybe financially kind of plus minus, no? It's maybe that's not really what sways you to go either way. And of course, nga, the issue of employment in the UK, fiancés can't work, spouses can. No? So that may be more persuasive to you kung kailangan mo magtrabaho, gusto mo magtrabaho as soon as you land in the UK, then you really what you want is a spouse visa, probably more than a fiancé visa. But let's say the issue of money may not be the predominant thing. Sa akin, yung abogado nyo, when they're giving you advice, you're quite entitled and you should ask, no? Which is potentially the stronger application. Now, 90% of the time, ang payo ko, the spouse application is the stronger application of the two. Because of the mere fact that you are then married. No? Once you are married, and then it's for the Home Office to show that the relationship is not in fact genuine, no? Because you have made the legal commitment, if you like, no, to be married, and you have married. So so hindi nyo kailangan pakita no you were living together, or that or minimum of 2 years nga, because you are already married. And as a fiance, as I say, you're simply looking also to marry in the United Kingdom. So between the two, 90% of the time, I say actually the spouse application is a stronger application. But for many people, no, they want to apply for as a fiancé instead of a spouse application. For example, and sometimes there's no choice, no. For example, if your relationship is under the same-sex relationship, no. So ibig sabihin nga, you can't marry in the UK, in the Philippines, but in the UK you can. So if it's a same-sex relationship nga, ibig mo sabihin, you can't marry in the Philippines, and actually quite a few countries also. But in the UK you can. No? So kung yung situation nyo, then you may not have actually a choice but to enter the United Kingdom either as a fiancé, o kung nagsasama nga kayong 2 taon plus, no? Then it could be that you then making an application nga as a as an unmarried partner, no? So it's it very much depends, as I say, on situation nyo. But for our viewer who very, very kindly provided us with the question, which is our star question for tonight, kung ako ikaw, knowing very little about your circumstances nga, if there's a choice, you probably want, I would say, between fiancé application nga, or married application, uuwi nga yung girlfriend mo sa atin, doon kayo nga ikakasal, I would probably be leaning, no, towards a marriage application rather than a fiancé application, for the reasons that I've set out. So, but look, as I say, kung if you're concerned and you think, oh, okay, no, maybe that's not something really you want to do, and sometimes it's also kind of useful, no, to have a fiancé application rather than a marriage application, because hindi pa nga kayo kasal, nandito kayo, and actually that's another thing. Some of my clients nga, gusto mo na lang tignan, subukan nga, no? Pagka nandito na nga yung partner nila, magkakasunduan ba nga sila, o kaya, or not, no? Because of course, kung kasal na kayo sa atin, it could be that then you're stuck with the marriage. And as you know, there's no divorce in the Philippines also. So that can bring about quite a few, if you like, legal consequences aside from the issue of immigration. So both types of applications have their advantages and indeed disadvantages. But if you're only looking at, if you made a commitment, you're very certain yung gusto nyong gawin, if you're looking at practicalities, and also, as I say, which includes cost, of course, and which is potentially the stronger application, then I would be saying to you, look seriously, perhaps look seriously at the marriage route rather than perhaps the fiancé route. No, so that was a great question. I'm always astonished by the quality of our questions nga. Hindi that's our star question. We have more, no? It's and so salamat po, no? It's we have other questions now, as I say, and they are very interesting because they deal with family law. They deal certainly with immigration law, and immigration and family law together, no? And actually employment law also. We're getting topics from legal topics from all, you know, all types nga, no? From many viewers, no, who are either here o kaya pasok pa nga lang sila, o kaya meron silang kaibigan na inaapi sa trabaho, o yung tax nyo nga, no? So it's great. I mean, that's all coming, no? That's all coming. But in the meantime po, magbatian muna tayo. So it's the lovely people who sent hello, have messages, no? So tingnan nga natin. I'm sure meron tayong messages. Sandali po, let me have a look. Egay the great guy, actually, is what I like to say. Huh? So Egay the guy from London. Many of you will know him. He's such lovely chap. Cold Thursday, sabi po niya to Attorney Lira and to the viewers. Worked in Canary Wharf today dahil suspended ang train strike. Oh, I see. Okay. Alaga naman kay Justin right now. Oh, he's such a committed dad. He really is. Justin is his little boy. He's big, you know. So he's lovely also. No, looking forward to lots of learning again into Attorney Lira's lovely voice. Guy, the great guy. Okay. So sabi po niya, no, katapos lang ng Happy Halloween at Guy Fawkes. Of course, yeah. I completely forgot. Yeah. Then mag-Christmas na, and then 2025. Tama ka, Guy. Now I tell you, time flies. For many of you, no, who have been doing this with me for a long time na nga, no, if you remember, I started broadcasting during the pandemic, and I was astonished, no, to realize, in fact, a couple of days ago, that the pandemic was 4 years back. It's 4 years back. Astonishing. Tama ka, Egay. Time goes so fast. And the older I get, the faster it seems to go, which is a bit upsetting because I'm getting old. Miss Paner, speaking of my pandemic friends, you know, Miss Paner nga, hello po, Attorney Lira, sabi niya, at sa lahat, happy Thursday po, stay safe, always. Getting cold and darker now. God bless. Tama ka, Marian. It's so cold na nga, no? And you know, I don't remember that summer was very long, no? I think, tatanda ko, there were a few days na mainit nga dito sa London. I'm not really sure what happened to summer, but it could be that because I'm getting old, I just forgot about it. Ma'am Cora. Oh, we love Ma'am Cora. Ma'am Cora Carsola, magandang gabi. Sabi, mahal naming Attorney Lira. Oh, we love you too, Ma'am Cora. At sa lahat na sumusubaybay sa very informative na legal show. Kamusta ka, Ma'am Cora? I hope you're doing well, and I hope you're inside, no? Keeping warm. Napakalamig na, no? At least hindi umuulan nga ngayon. I got a little bit cold yesterday. Naulan na akong konti. Miss Rafael. We love Miss Rafael from Wimbledon. Our London lady, no? And she's feeling good, but she's all caps. Sabi po niya, no, hello, good evening, Attorney Lira, and everyone, and happy Thursday to you all. Happy Thursday po, Mr. Rafael. How is Wimbledon? Wimbledon, Wimbledon is very, actually, watching at home in Wimbledon, good. Now, I hope you have a cup of tea in hand, or have had your dinner. Actually, I haven't had my dinner. Speaking of dinner, I was going to do this later on, but shout out to Cesar and also Mirna. You know who you are. I hope you're watching. No, they very kindly came to the office, especially to give me some food. Can you imagine? Ang bait-bait nila. So that is what I'm going to have later on. So I have some lovely curry. So anyway, it's on the dining table waiting to be zapped. So that is what I'm going to have. So I'm quite looking forward to it. Oh God, this makes me hungry just thinking about it. Outcast, good evening. Nice to see this video. Good evening po. thank you for joining me. Thank you very much for spending time with me. Appreciate it. Marilyn, Miss Jones. Don't ask me how I know, but she's a great dancer, Miss Jones. A cold Thursday evening, Attorney Lira, and everyone watching, sabi po niya, just having my mug of coffee and ready for another interesting night. Oh, that's lovely. Salamat po. Salamat po. Miss Nadella, Risa Nadella, Good evening, Attorney Lira. Sabi niya, good evening, madam. Kamusta po? Kamusta ka? I mean, Miss Nadella, she's one of the hardest working people I know. I hope you are not working, Miss Nadella, and you're putting your feet up, and that you're not rushing around. Kamusta po? Oh, Jenna Williams, should we email or call USCIS for an update outside processing time for approval, or let our agency in the Philippines do it? You will find that you can't really call them. It's you can email them, and they charge you out for the email. But you have an agency in the Philippines. Your agency should do it. But tip ko, you should perhaps ask them to send you a copy of their email, their chasing email, and then any email, of course, in reply. Do not simply rely on the agency saying, "Oh yeah, I've chased." Okay, so you want probably some documentary evidence that they really have. So you ask them to do it. I mean, they're on the record for you. So yun. Now, tignan ko nga kung meron pa tayong mga questions. I think that may be it nga for the moment. I think that's it for the moment nga. Kung gusto niyo akong batiin, never too late. Post your hello, your greetings na nga ngayon. And I hope that I'll get around to, I will try my best to get around to reading it out nga online. So it's alam niyo naman, yun ang the batian section po natin, ang paborito ko. Salamat po thank you very much. I mean, I'm really touched when that you keep me company. You post your greetings nga on a Thursday evening when I'm sure you could be doing something else. But I appreciate it. Salamat po. I mean, it's always a pleasure, and I hope that you like the topic nga. Now, let's go back to our viewers' questions. Yung nga sabi ko kanina, ang dami nga, Ang dami nating mga questions, and really good ones. So, let's plow on, okay? Now, so let me have a look at the next question nga natin. So, ito po. My ex-partner and I have a joint mortgage, we're tenants in common in equal shares, we're not married and have no kids. 50-50 po ang pinirmahan namin sa share ng pabili ng bahay, ng house. Due to domestic abuse, and coercive behavior, I left my house and I'm temporarily in shared accommodation. Gusto ko na po sanang ibenta ang bahay para matapos na po itong issue. I don't blame you, Pero ayaw po ibenta ang bahay. Is it possible po to file a court proceedings like to force sale of the property? Yes, is a quick answer to that. The longer answer to that is, una po, unmarried spouses, unmarried partners have less rights than say a married spouse. Kung kasal nga kayo, you can make an application to the court for financial relief, for example, pa hindi nga kayo kasal. But it doesn't mean na wala silang magagawa. Now, one of the main legislation that solicitors will advise you on would be what's called, ang tawag nga, I'm sure you hear it, so, TOLATA, TOLATA. It's a acronym for Trusts of Land and Appointment of Trustees Act 1996, an old law, but good law. So you can make an application under the 1996 TOLATA Act for sale of the property, but try and agree that court proceedings are expensive. Now, ang payo po, tip ko ito, bago kayo magpasok na ng application under bago niyo siya i-demanda, ang payo ko, put your proposal in writing. Make sure that you send it by recorded post, send it also by email. You want evidence na pinadala mo. Kung meron kang abogado, they will do that. So you put your proposal in writing, so he's on notice as to cost. So kung hindi siya sumasagot, ayaw niya, and he's being unreasonable nga in not agreeing for the property to be sold, and then you can go to court. And when you're at court, you can say to the court, well, hang on. I actually asked or suggested this back in 2024. 2025 na tayo. He forced me to make an application to the court. So it could be that you find that he is then penalized as to cost. Okay, and it would be a litigation. It would be civil litigation nga. So ibig sabihin, usually the court will say, okay, whoever wins gets their costs paid by the losing party. Okay? So kung yung nga mangyari, then you may find that siya magbabayad ng costs mo. But try and avoid court proceedings if you can. Yeah? But I can see that you probably have tried. That's why sabi mo nga dito, ayaw nga niya, no? And it may also be an idea to see a solicitor for them to fire off a letter before action, because that may get him moving. You can, of course, alam mo naman siguro to, and you probably don't want to do this because of his behavior towards you. You can go back, bahay mo nga din, no? You can go back. And you can make an application before you go back for an injunction order stopping him from continuing to carry out his behavior against you. Okay, so if you're fortunate enough to have not one but say 2 bedrooms, you can also ask the court to include in the order that he's not allowed to go into your room. But I can imagine, I can appreciate that you probably don't want to go anywhere near the property when he's there. So the application, if you're going to make an application, is, as I say, Tolata. Trusts of Land and Appointment of Trustees Act 1996. That is usually the basis on which you hook on your application. But there's quite a bit more to it than that. So be careful when you're making the application. Probably best to seek legal advice before you launch into an application. So hopefully, good luck. Keep me informed. I hope you sort it out. It must be horrible for you. Oh yeah, it's Christmas time also. So sorry. Terrible. Now, tignan natin. I'm sure I have a few more questions. Tignan ko nga yung question 2. Okay, so ito. Under partner or spouse visa po ako. Then, nahire po ako ng isang pub. Oh, okay. But at the same time, pub is public house. But at the same time, may work po din ako part-time as a cleaner. Paano po kaya ang tax ko? Oh, tingnan nyo, no? So it's love these questions. So we're going out from property, unmarried partners, tenants in common, shares nga in property, to this tax, no? Paano po ang tax ko, sabi niya? Bukod po sa full-time job ko, need ko po bang mag-register self-employed para sa part-time cleaning job ko, since the payment ng client ko is dumadaan sa bank account ko? So, question po niya, no? Anong kailangan niya ang gawin para sa tax? It's always good, and I always advise is to be tax responsible, no? If you need to pay, kung self-employed kayo or employed nga kayo, make sure that you're paying the right tax. Do not be tempted not to discharge your fiscal obligation, because you can be penalized quite a lot for that. No? Most common issue po, so let's look at the question. Most common issue, are you employed or self-employed? Because that will dictate the method of tax payment. Now, you have more rights if you are employed. Last week, pinag-usapan natin is the holiday entitlement. For example, for employed people, so that's just one of the perks if you're employed rather than self-employed. What's the difference? So if you're employed, you're working for someone. You're working for the pub. If you are self-employed, you're working for yourself. You're providing a service to the pub, but you're working for yourself. If you are employed, you have, as I say, additional employment rights, such as possibility of claiming redundancy payment if you're made redundant, unfair dismissal if you are dismissed unfairly. Those are essentially limited to to those people who are employed, who are employees rather than self-employed. Now, tingnan nga natin yung sitwasyon mo, okay? Anong titingnan nga ng, so if it goes to the tribunal, for example, or indeed the inland revenue, anong tinitingnan na nga nila? So hours of work, so part-time ka, no? Or existence of full-time job does not mean that you're self-employed. No? It does not follow na self-employed nga kayo. There's no real conclusive definition of who is an employee because it's defined by case law, if you like, and also some guidance nga, no? But they will look at things like control of time, no? Any other jobs. So sabi mo nga, part-time ka nga dito. Control of jobs is a big, if you like, factor. It can be persuasive evidence to show that you're either employed or indeed self-employed. Okay? So if you control your time mainly, so sabihin natin, you're having to, you can go into work anytime really, as long as the pub is clean at the end of the evening. Then there's probably an argument that actually you are self-employed rather than employed. No? But at the same time, if you have to go into work on specific days or specific time, then that could point to you being employed rather than self-employed. Now, so I mentioned that because that will then dictate the tax position. Una po, okay? And this is something actually that sometimes people don't appreciate enough, no? Kahit self-employed kayo or employed kayo, hindi naman ibig sabihin na hindi kayo magbabayad ng tax. Kailangan nyo pa rin magbayad ng tax. It's simply a question of delivery or collection of tax. That's the main difference between employed and self-employed people. So, if you pay, if you're self-employed, no, and you pay your own tax, okay, and your NI contribution, kayo mismo, you need to fill out your the relevant form. You need to file your tax assessment. Usually that's done yearly nga, and you pay your tax yourself, your assessed tax nga twice a year usually. Okay, so but you still pay it. No? Pwede nyo din kaltas kung of course you're working for yourself, pwede nyo kaltas doon yung mga allowed allowances. So for example, kung if you're providing say cleaning materials, no, because you're working in the pub, no, pwede nyo kaltas doon maybe some travel costs, for example, also, no. If you have to wear a certain kind of outfit, no, because nga you're cleaning gloves, for example, nga, so you may be able to deduct those from the income. So mas mababa ng konti yung tax nyo, because of course you're going to be taxed on the net, if you like, the net income nga, no, minus expenses. If you're employed, doesn't mean that you're not paying tax. You're still paying tax, but it's taxed at source. So ang tawag nga nila, you may hear this, no, PAYE, no, it just means pay at source, no. So ibig pong sabihin, ikakaltas nung employer nyo, yung tax nga ibibigay nila directly to the inland revenue, no? Pay as you earn ang tawag PAYE. So it's deducted from your income. If you get paid on a monthly basis, deducted nga along with your national insurance contributions, and then it is paid directly to the inland revenue. So in many ways, it's a little bit easier dahil nga hindi bigla at saka someone else is doing it nga for you. You don't have to file a tax assessment. So yung nga, so if you're dictating your own hours, you're bringing cleaning materials, very likely, well, more likely you're self-employed, and you need to sort out your own tax. But as I say, it very much depends also on how much leeway you have, how much as regards your time also, no? But either way, you must sort out your tax. Either you're self-employed, as I say. Kung self-employed ka, if you're deemed to be self-employed, you need to register self-employed, and you'll find, in your case, siguro, you're employed and self-employed at the same time, because you're employed by in your full-time job, and then you're self-employed with your part-time job. But that's okay. No, that also works. Sometimes people can be both. Sometimes more than that. Sometimes people are employed, self-employed, and then they have a company. That gets really confusing. No? So it's so good luck with that. Tax and the saying goes, death and taxes inevitable. Okay. Now, meron tayong pang question pa. Oh, I like this question because again, so much in there. So, basahin po natin, no? Tanong lang po, affected po ba ang pagkuha ng dependents ngayon sa new rule ng UK regarding po dun sa pagtaas ng salary threshold ng main applicant? May friend po ako na main applicant ay noong June this year lang po siya dumating dito. Thanks po sa pagtugon. Now, tingnan natin Unang-una po, recent change. Well, say recent, beginning of the year. So beginning of 2024 nga, dati, di ba, 18,600 plus additional funds kung may mga bata. Okay? Ngayon, so people who are coming in now, in this case, siguro yung kaibigan mo, is now 29,000 pounds. So tumaas nga, no? Now, also, you remember last year, beginning of the year, last year, towards the end of the year, and beginning of this year nga, have been a lot of confusion. 29,000 ba? Tataas ba? So at the moment, sabi nga ng gobyerno natin, it's 29,000 pounds. There's no immediate plan to increase it from 29,000 pounds. But sabi nga nila, they want to carry out some more studies as to whether it needs to increase from 29,000 pounds. But as I say, dati po 18,600, ngayon 29,000 pounds na. Now, sa kaibigan mo, some good news. No? So family members applying for entry clearance or leave to remain in the UK must provide evidence of annual income of at least 29,000 pounds. Ang tawag nga, minimum income requirement. Okay? There's no longer a separate child entitlement to the minimum income requirement. So, ibig pong sabihin, 29,000 pounds ang kailangan yung pakita. So, kung nandito na yung kaibigan mo, no? So, pinakita nga nila, 29,000 pounds yung income, ano? Kung kukunin nila mga bata, sabihin natin na iwan yung mga bata sa atin, kukunin nila, meron bang dagdag sa 29,000? No. Still 29,000 pounds. Now, so main applicant had to show that the sponsor earned at least 29,000 pounds per annum before tax. No, nung napasok nga siyang application, naniwala ang Home Office. Now, Home Office believed this, so nandito na nga siya. Sabihin natin, the children are now going to follow. Is the income the same? Now, good news nga, as I say, the income is the same, 29,000 pounds. First good news. Second good news, dahil nandito na yung kaibigan mo, so both parents are already here, let's say. So applicant and sponsor are here. The applicant, kaibigan mo, can work in the UK quite properly because maybe he has a spouse visa na. Their joint income can be put forward for the children. So sabihin natin, bumaba ng konti yung sponsor, yung income ng sponsor, no? So sabihin natin income sponsor naging 20,000 pounds. And yung kaibigan mo, ang income niya part-time nga lang siya, 10,000. So pwedeng it can be a joint, they can be assessed together. 29,000 pounds ang kailangang pakita para sa mga bata. So, dahil nandito nga siya and he's allowed to work, you have then 20,000 plus 10,000 makes 30,000 of course, and the limit at the moment is 29,000 pounds. So, they can pwede nang ibukod yung income nga nila to make up the 29,000 pounds. No? Don't forget, of course, no, kailangan nga din niyang pakita yung accommodation, okay? So, kung one bedroom lang, baka hindi sapat yon. You need really 2 bedrooms kung may mga batang dadating nga dito unless they're very, very small, okay? So, yun. So, it's I hope that they can, they'll be able to join them in the UK, especially nga for Christmas. Christmas. I think that may be our last question. I think so. So, tignan ko, I'm pretty sure. Oh, no, we must not. That's not our last question. It's from our lovely Egay the guy. So sabi po niya, Attorney Lira, yung friend ko, ang parents niya settled na sa UK. Kaya nandito na siya. Kinasal this year sa Pinas para sumunod yung lalaki. Lilipad na po yung lalaking asawa. Nauntog yata at ayaw. Okay. Nauntog yata at ayaw nang sumunod. Okay, question. Ano pong gagawin ng friend ko? Oh, no. Oh, para umibig ulit. Oh, para sa pakikula. Pakikula. Okay. Lang ang kwento niya. Oh, I'm so sad about that, guy. Oh no. So it's a oh, sorry sa kaibigan mo, no? Gusto niya tapos ayaw niya. Oh. And then sila kinasal sa Pilipinas, no? Alam niyo naman, no? No divorce sa atin. Kinasal this year sa Pilipinas. Wow. Para sumunod yung lalaki. Oh, and on top of that, she may need to think about divorce proceedings. Kung dito siya nakatira, alam niyo naman, no? Na pwede din siya magpasok ng divorce nga dito kahit kinasal kayo sa Pilipinas. But there are conditions nga. Sorry, guy. How sad is that? Good luck sa kaibigan mo, no? Hopefully she's okay. Oh, that's terrible. Now, ewan ko, meron pa tayong mga questions. I think that may be, let me check. We don't want to miss any questions, no? So, it could be, okay. So, muna natin. That may be the last question nga. No question nga. Now, just to say, salamat po sa inyong lahat. No? It's always a pleasure, no, to be with you. Great questions nga today, and as I say, meron tayong star question, no. So if you're unsure again, no, get legal help. No, many solicitors like me, no, can even advise remotely kung nandun kayo sa Pilipinas. So we can do a Zoom meeting, for example, if you can't travel. Oh, it doesn't have to be the Philippines. I mean, sometimes I Zoom with people in, actually, a couple of weeks ago, I was Zooming with someone from Edinburgh. So, it can happen, yeah. And a lot of people, also a lot of solicitors can potentially do it on what they call fixed interview nga. So now, ang payo po, tip ko, I'm always very keen to give practical tips nga. If you have, especially nga, first appointment nyo, isulat yung mga questions nyo. So huwag kayong mahiya. They will not be offended just because you have a list that you're going through. Okay? That way you don't forget, because lots of information coming at you, no? You want some structure nga. So sulat nyo, yun ang tip ko. And as I've said, shout out to Myrna and Cesar. Thank you very much. After tonight, after our show nga, I'm going to zap my food. Salamat po. Now, salamat po uli, no, to our long-time friends and of course our new friends, viewers po natin, no, Facebook groups that allow us to post our contents nga on their page. Salamat po, much appreciated. And of course, to those who send us our questions, no, wag niyo kalimutan, remember, no, if you send your questions nga by next Wednesday, no, so you have nearly a whole week, no, to think of something nga. I will read them out, and you may have the chance, or you will have the chance nga, of being the star question. Okay, so some serious bragging rights, no? It's so I hope that you will be able to find time nga, no, to email me with your questions, no. Now, if you have any questions about this nga, okay, you just want me to send you links to certain things, email me, no. Email me Lira in Law, no. I'll post the details nga mamaya. So Lira in Law, and I'm happy, of course, to try and assist if I can, no. It's always sometimes it may be something just very quick, and I missed it out, or kaya you want, as I say, a link nga for you just to look at. Happy, of course, to do that. And you can check out our Facebook, no, and of course your website nga namin, and I'm going to try and post on our Facebook and indeed our website nga the last week's topic, which is to do with holiday entitlement, particularly important at the moment because Christmas is coming. So thank you again po, no, for keeping me company. Much appreciated, and no, to the viewers, mga kaibigan, no, thank you for your time and effort. So, si Miss pa niya nga, no? Sabi niya, pahabol siya. Thank you, attorney. Sabi niya, no? Tignan mo, talagang nanonood ka siya, no? And take care always. Stay safe po. Enjoy your weekend ahead. Good night, everyone. Oh, lovely, lovely. Oh, May! Hello, May. May Tigbaw Vargas. Hello, good evening. Happy Thursday to everyone watching. Hi, May. Nice to hear from you. No, it's very, very, it's very kind. Oh, actually, it's we have a few new viewers actually. I understand that Anne. Hi, Anne. Anne is is a friend from university, so a long time ago. I'm going to call you. I thought I'd say hello. Okay. Anyway, thank you again for keeping me company. Until next time, same time, same place at Lira and Law. Ingat po. Good night.